But joining me now to dig into it a little bit more, Fox News contributors Leslie Marshall and DeRoy Murdoch. Great to see you both. Leslie, let's go ahead and start with you, because this is really interesting. You look at Pennsylvania. In 2016, Trump won 48%, Clinton 47%. It was so close. Now the polling for 2020 shows Biden's ahead at 50% and Trump at 43%. So he does have some work to do there.
Oh, absolutely. I'm not surprised. I mean, the vice president is from Pennsylvania, even though he represents and represented when he wasn't a vice president the state of Delaware, neighbor. And in addition, Pennsylvania has some of those pockets. Hershey is one of them, like some other states in the country that went for Obama, flipped for Trump, and aren't happy now, even though the headlines are the economy is strong because of tariffs and some other things, some of the tax cuts that didn't make its way down to some of these middle and lower middle-class Americans in the working class. That's going to be problematic for Trump. And I think Pennsylvania, if Joe Biden is the candidate, I think it's going to be very difficult. And I think it'll be a bigger spread than we saw with Hillary and Trump in 2016.
DeRoy, what does he have to say tonight when he gets on the podium to appeal to the voters to bring them back to his side?
I think he can do a number of things. One is talk about the overall economy, which is in great shape. I believe median household income's gone up $5,000 under Trump. I think it went up about $1,000 under Obama and about $400 under Bush over their full 8-year terms. So that's a very positive story. I think he can talk about any progress we might see with the U.S.-China trade deal. If that takes place, you heard a word earlier in that package, uncertainty. That's the biggest single source of uncertainty in the economy. If that goes away, I think the economy takes off like crazy. And getting a U.S., Canada, Mexico trade agreement done, looks like we may have a deal on that with the Democrats. If that finally gets passed and gets moving, that definitely will help the economies of Pennsylvania and elsewhere.
It's interesting because you think about Pennsylvania, as you mentioned, Joe Biden's home state, and they're going to have to duke it out there. But also a new survey out showing, and this is, interesting, if you will, Hillary Clinton topping the list of choices for president in 2020 among Democrats. Now, it's possible that she does something that surprises us. But it makes me think, sit back here and say Biden isn't in the kind of position that we think he may be.
I disagree. I think that's one poll. I think it's an outlier. I would like to see Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren supporters polled, or how many of them are in that poll. We clearly saw that in 2016, 12% of Bernie Sanders supporters voted for President Trump. An overwhelming number of them stayed home and contributed, quite frankly, to President Trump becoming president and Hillary Clinton not being president. She's not going to run. Democrats are progressive. They want to move forward. They don't want to move back. I don't see enthusiasm for her going forward for 2020. Anywhere near what it was in 2016, and the enthusiasm was huge, yet in 2016 she didn't win.
Going forward to 2020, we had the articles of impeachment announced this morning. The market's shrugging it off, but that doesn't mean that voters will as we head into the election. Your thoughts, DeRoy?
Well, I think the Democrats, it looks like they're going to go ahead with this. It now looks, Lindsey Graham, I think, maybe blundered, which is if we're not going to have a Senate trial, that means that we're not going to be hearing from Hunter Biden, from Joe Biden, from the